Now after probability we will take statistics lesson, that is chapter 14, statistics. Okay, so statistics means what? Means information in the form of data. Data which will be in the numeric form. Okay, data will be in the numeric form. Now in the earlier classes we have read about data handling. That means in class 6th, 7th, 8th we have done data handling. So this is statistics also relates to data handling. Okay, so which means dealing with data. Now what is that data? Data means any raw facts and figures. Any raw facts and figures is called a data. But here facts cannot be your data for statistics, because we are dealing with only numeric data, so it will be figures only. So any raw figures are called your data. Okay, so here that data can be collected, organized and interpreted in the form of tables, charts or graph. Okay, so those data can be used in tables, charts as well as in graph. Okay, so data of statistics can be represented in the form of tables, or it can be in the form of charts or graphs. Okay, so now types of data we'll see. Now we know that data is a raw figure in case of statistics. Okay, so now types of data. Primary data means what? The data when the person collects data himself or herself. Suppose I am the person, I am going to the class and I am asking the children how many were absent in the class yesterday. So I am the person who is directly asking question in the class, and children will give reply to me like 5 children were absent, 6 children were absent. So that is the data I have collected. How many children were absent? That is 5 children or 6 children or 4 children. So that is the data for me. So I am the person who is collecting, and you children are giving the answers to me. So that means I am the person, primary data I have collected, because I am asking, I am getting the answer. I am not giving to someone else, or my data is not used by someone else. So I am the person, I have collected the data and I am going to use it for myself. Understood? So that type of data is called what? Primary data. Okay, that means primary data are more reliable because it is trustworthy, because I am the person, I am collecting data means it will be true, no? It won't be false. Is it not? So it is reliable, and example will be number of students in a class. Suppose I went to the class and I asked how many children were there in the class yesterday, or the strength of the class. So that will be the primary data. Okay. Now the secondary data means what? When the data is collected, collected by someone else and used by the other person. Suppose the data is collected by me, but I am not writing in the register. That is written by someone else in the register. So the person who is writing in the register will be for him or her, it will be the secondary data, because what I got from you, that is the primary data. When that data is used by someone else, the third person, whoever is writing in the register or somewhere else, so that person will be the secondary data. Understood, children, now? So here weather data is collected by meteorological department. You know that weather forecasting daily we see in the television and all. So weather forecasting is done by whom? The meteorological department of India. And that data is collected by the news agencies and they put it in their television. Right? Understood? So that agency ones, that is the secondary data, because the agency people, they didn't collect the data from the weather forecasting one. So meteorological department, they have taken the data from meteorological department and then showing in the television. Understood? So for the agencies, it will be a secondary data. I think the point is clear to you, right? After that, now ungrouped data. The data obtained in original form is called ungrouped data. Means what? Suppose 5 students are there in the class. So 5 children, suppose I ask the height of them. So what, like first student I asked, so the child said 150 cm. Second student I asked, he said 151 cm. For third student I asked 154 cm. The child is giving reply that directly I wrote here. Understood? That means the answer given by the student about their heights, that will be written here directly. So that is the original form of data which I am getting from the student and I have written here. So this is called ungrouped data. Means 5 students height which I am getting directly from the student and I am writing directly without any manipulation. So that is called what? Ungrouped data. Clear, children? Now come to the grouped data. Grouped data means the presentation of data into classes or groups is called group. Suppose the same data, suppose take the example of that 5 students height. Okay, here we have written 5 students height, that is 150 cm, 151 cm and 154 cm, 150 cm and 156 cm. Suppose this I am breaking into 2 groups, that is 150 to 154, that will come in one group, and another group is what? 154 to 158. Okay, a gap of 5. 150 to 154 and again 154 to 158. So now in this particular group, means 150 to 154, how many children are there? That means 1, 2 and 3. So that is why 3 is written. Okay, and then again 154 to 158. 154 to 158 means 1 and 2. So 2 is there. So total 5 children we got. So this particular height is kept in a group. Instead of writing individually, I have divided this particular heights into 2 different groups. Okay, so this is called your grouped data. Clear? Okay, now after that what? Array. Array means what? Arranging data in ascending or descending order. Now here you can see 150, after that 151 is there, then 154, again 150 came. So is this arranged one? No, it is a raw data which I have collected from the student. So that I have written here. But if I will arrange this in an ascending order or in descending order, that means 150, again 150, then 151, then 154, then 156, that is ascending order, or first 156, then 154, then 151, then 150 and then 150 cm, then that is called what? Array. Clear? Arranging the data in ascending or in descending order. Clear? Now come to this point again, frequency of an observation. Okay, so frequency of an observation means the number of times an observation occurs is called frequency. That means, now take the example of these 5 heights only, 5 students height. So in that I have made what? Between 150 to 154, this class interval, this particular group. How many children are there? That is 1, 2, 3. So this number of students will be our frequency. How many times? How many times in that particular group number of students are there? Okay, so that is called the frequency. So here in this case these are the frequencies. So here you can see in frequency what is given. In the above example, 150 to 154, how many children are there? With this height between 150 to 154, how many students are there? 3. So 3 will be our frequency. Clear? Now class interval. Now class interval means the different groups in which raw data is collected is called class interval. Like here 150 to 154, in that we have collected some data, means how many children's height is between these two. Clear? That is 150 to 154. How many students are there? So this particular data, this is grouped one, is called what? class interval. Means between 150 to 154, how many students' heights are there? So that is called your class interval. Okay. Then next comes class limit. Class limit means what? Each class is bounded by two figures. You can see this is the class interval. It is bounded by what? Minimum value and the maximum value. Two numbers are there. You can see each class interval is bounded by what? Two numbers or two figures. So this figure is called what? Limits. This particular bounded one is called what? Class limits. So now the left hand side, between these class limits, the left hand side number is called the lower limit, and the left hand side, right hand side number is called what? Upper limit. So now here this 150 is the lower limit and 154 is the upper limit. You can see there. Here the class interval, suppose one more example I took. Class interval is between 10 to 20. Suppose 10 and 20 is the class interval. So in this class interval, this is the class limit will be what? 10 and 20 is the limit. Okay. So now between these two, what is the lower limit? 10 is the lower limit, because in this class limit, the left hand side value is the lower limit and right hand side value is the upper limit. Clear? So that is, here 10 is the lower limit and 20 is the upper limit. Clear? Now come to the class size. Class size means what? The difference between the upper limit to the lower limit. Now in this example only see 10 to 20 is the class interval. Now which is the upper limit in this case? 20 is the upper limit and 10 is the lower limit. So difference of these two will be the class size. That is 20 minus 10 will be the class size. You can see here in the above case 20 minus 10. 20 is the upper limit minus lower limit gives the class size. So 10 is the class size. Clear? Understood? Now come to the next, that is class mark. Mark means what? The half of the sum of their class limits. What is the class limits? The sum of upper limit and lower limit. The sum of upper limit and lower limit upon 2 is called the class size. Class mark. What is class mark? That is upper limit plus lower limit upon 2. In the above case you can see sum that 10 plus 20 upon 2 will be the class mark. 10 plus 20 will be 30. Okay. So here in the above case example will be what? In above case 10 plus 20 upon 2 which is equals to how much? 30 upon 2 equals to 15. Clear? So what will be the class mark for this particular example? For this example the class mark will be 15. Clear? Then last one comes as a range. What is a range? Suppose any data is given to you. In that the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value. The difference between the maximum and the minimum is called the range. Is called the range. Now here range equals to maximum value minus minimum value of the given data. Like in the previous example we have seen what is that heights? 150, 151, 154, again 150 and 154, likewise 56. Likewise data was given. Okay. So now here in these 5 numbers, which is the highest value one or the maximum value is 156. 156 is the maximum value. And what is the minimum value in this? You can see 150, 151, 154, 154, 150 and 156. What is the lowest value or the minimum value? That is 150. So when you subtract, what you will get? 6. So what is the range? 6 is the range. Clear? Understood? We will see frequency distribution of an ungrouped data. Okay. So now in that 2 methods are there, that is discrete frequency distribution and continuous or grouped frequency distribution. Now what do you mean by discrete? Means the raw data which we are getting from the students or from other person, so that is written as it is called your discrete frequency distribution. Okay, you can see discrete frequency distribution from our raw data can be done by drawing tally marks. What do you mean by tally marks? Means here you can see the example, like the marks obtained by 10 students in a test out of 20 are given as 11, 8, 7, 10 students, 11, 8, 7, 15, 8, 15, 18, 20, 20 and 15. So these are the marks out of 20. How many students? 10 students. Now here the first number is what? 7. So I will write 7. Here how many students are having? 7. What you will do? Here 7 is not there. Here 7 is not there. Second one. Third one is 7. So one line for it. Okay. Again here 15 it is 8. Then 15. Any other? 7 is there? No. So here how many tally marks? So here how many marks? How many students got 7 marks? Only one. That is one student. Now the next number 8. 8 tally marks will first plot. So here how many? Here 8 is there. So one line for this. Again you see where is 8? One more 8 is there. So one more line. So again, do you find any 8 again? No. So here how many lines are there? 2. So our frequency will be what? 2. Clear? Likewise here 9 is not there, 10 is not there, again 11 is there. So I'll write here 11. Okay. 11 how many children got? We'll see. How many students? First one line for this. Any other 11 is there? No. So how many tally marks we got? 1. So that means one student only got 11 marks. After that you can see 15 is there. So we'll write here 15. Now 15 how many students got? We'll see first. 15. So one line for it. Again one more 15. So one more line. Again last one is 15. So one more line. So how many lines are there? 3. So that is called the tally mark. So here how many students got? 15. 3 students. After that what is that? 18 is there. So we'll write 18. So 18 you can see here. How many 18s are there? Only one I can see. So one line. One tally mark for it. So how many students got 18 marks? Only one. Then the last one is 20. So 20 how many students you can see here? 1 is there. So 1 mark. Again after that one more is there. So one more line. So how many students got 20? That is 2. So this is my tally marks. And this is the discrete one data. That means individual data I have written here. And here this is the discrete frequency. Frequency for this discrete frequency distribution of the raw data. This is the raw data given to us. On the basis of this we have done the frequency one table. Clear? After that we will see what? Continuous or grouped frequency distribution. In this what happens? This is specially used when a huge data is given to you. A large number of data is given. So all the data likewise you cannot write. So what we do? We compress the data. We reduce the size of the data by making into a group. Making into a class or group. Okay. So here what is given? See, if the number of observations in a data is large, means 50 students data, 100 students data, so it will be difficult for you to write all the 100 students marks. Okay. So for that what we will do? We will divide it into groups. Okay. Means 0 to 10 how many children got? Then 10 to 20 how many children got? Likewise we will divide. So that the table will be small one. Or we can represent the data in a very tabular or systematic manner. Okay. The marks of 30 students are given. So here I cannot write all the 30. So here few numbers I wrote and then the last 2 of that 30 students I wrote. Okay. So here also same way table marks you will do. Same marks obtained, tally marks, frequency. Now 0 to 10. You will see the number here. This is 0 to 1. In that only 10. So it will be 1. So likewise you will see and draw the lines, tally marks for it. Okay. So how many tally marks you are getting? That many frequencies you will write here. Suppose like here we have done 1 tally marks, so 1 frequency, here 2 tally marks, so 2 frequency, 1 again tally marks, so 1 frequency, 3 tally marks, so 3. Likewise, how many tally marks you will plot seeing this data, that many frequencies will come. So this is called what, our grouped frequency table, because we have made a group. This is called grouped data, this is called the group data, and here is the grouped frequency. Clear? Understood? After that comes to types of frequency distribution of grouped data. In grouped data, what is the frequency ones? Two types of frequencies we will see, that is exclusive and inclusive. In grouped data, ungrouped data two were there. What was that? Discrete and continuous or grouped data frequency. Now in grouped frequency we have two, that is exclusive form and inclusive form. In exclusive form, what is that? The grouped frequency distribution in which the upper limit of one class is the lower limit for the next class. Means, for example, suppose I have written the class intervals like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30 likewise. So here what happens? The lower limit is 0 and upper limit is what? 10. So this upper limit is the lower limit for the next class. You can see here also 10 is there, here also 10 is there, right? So the upper limit of the first one is the lower limit for the second one. Okay, so in this case what happens? This 10 we will not include in this. Suppose any student got 10 marks. So we will not write that 10 marks one student number here in this group. We will take that 10 who got will be to the next group, next class. Understood? Same way here, suppose any student got 20. So that 20 marks will not include in this group. We will take it to the next group. Understood? The upper limit of each class intervals will be taken to the next class. Will be the lower limit for the next one. You can see upper limit becomes the lower limit. Here the upper limit becomes the lower limit. Likewise it will continue. This type of frequency distribution, group 1, is called exclusive form. And in this case the upper limit is not included, only the lower limit is included in the class interval, whereas the upper limit 20 is not included. That is taken to the next one. Okay. Now inclusive form, what is that? This is also called discontinuous form. Why? You can see the class intervals that is written as 1 to 10. Now next class begins from what? Class interval that is 11. Means 10 is not written here. Another new number is written, that is 11. After 10, 11 to 20. Then you can see from 20, 20 is not written, 21 is written. Understood? 1 to 10, then 11 to 20, then 21 to 30, then 31 to 40. Likewise it is there. So that means there is no continuity of it. So this is called what? This type of class intervals are called inclusive form. Clear? In this case what happens? Both the lower limit and upper limits are included for a particular class. Okay, both the limits, upper limit as well as the lower limit, both are included. If any student got 1, that is also included in this. Suppose any student got 10, that also will come under this particular group. Understood? Both the limit points, that is upper and lower limit, is included in this particular method, that is inclusive form. Okay.